The most powerful and the most capable woman is not always the one who is the prettiest. It's not always the one who is the loudest. It is definitely not always the one who is the most expensive or the richest. Usually and truly, the most powerful and the most capable woman is the one who feels secure within herself, the one who loves herself unconditionally, the one who literally takes steps every single day, day by day, no matter what happens, to become the best version of herself. And if you are someone who's clicked on this video to understand the psychology of such a woman, or if you want to become the most powerful and the most capable woman that you can be in this lifetime, then you've clicked on the right video. Because in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some practical steps and some mindset shifts and some things, everything combined, that you can do to become such a woman. First things first, let's start with the most important thing, and that is exactly how does a powerful woman or a capable woman actually manage her finances. And the thing is, the reason why I want to talk about finances is because finances is a big thing, and I see a lot of women, wondering if they should get that big bag, they should make that big purchase, they should, get that designer bag. And sometimes women even link up with men who are rich and, who can provide that lifestyle for them, and in exchange for themselves, in exchange for their soul, honestly, in the process they lose themselves. The most important thing, you guys, I really need you to understand is that you don't need expensive shit. You don't need to buy that designer bag. You don't need to buy the best dress. You don't need to buy the most expensive thing. You don't need to buy any of these things, and you definitely do not need to sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your soul, or give yourself away just so you can have this lifestyle provided for you. Okay, you don't need to be on these expensive vacations. If you really want to become powerful and if you really want to become capable, the first thing that you need to get in order is your finances, and also learning how to manage your finances and exactly where you should put your money, where you should not put your money, and also remove these illusions and remove these things that they've sold us that you need the next expensive handbag. And as someone who's studying brand marketing, as someone who understands strategic management and brand management on a deeper level, I literally also became honestly very much aware of exactly how these brands work and exactly how these brands are built. So every single bag or every single expensive thing that we see on the market that we really want to buy, even if it's a makeup item, Dior lip gloss or whatever, and we really want to buy it, the way they've placed it in our head is very, very strategic. So the target audience for brands like Dior or Chanel is not rich people, first of all. Okay, rich people, luxurious people, like super rich people, Dior, Chanel, all these people are not targeting these people. They're targeting aspirational buyers. Aspirational buyers are buyers that are not rich. They don't have that expensive, luxurious, like amazing rich ass life. They simply have money that they can spend. Okay, and they do want to appear more rich. They do want to look more presentable. They do want to have that social status on them, and that is exactly what's the target. So it's not the richest. It is people who do have money but they're not rich, but they want to look like they're rich. That is their ideal audience. That is the target audience. So what they do is that then they give these bags, they give these things, they give these luxury handbags to celebrities like Kylie Jenner or Hailey Bieber, and you'll see these people wear these bags. You'll see these bags in the closet door. You'll see these bags in the Vogue videos that they make, and all of this is strategically placed. So when girls watch these videos, when girls watch all these icons or all these people or celebrities having these bags, they feel like, oh my god, the it girl has it, the most amazing girl has it, so I need it. Okay, and then this race starts that you need this bag, you need this cloth, you need this cream, you need this item, and you literally are in this race of becoming that it girl. But truly, you guys, you don't need it. Okay, first thing that you need to do is that you need to truly remove all of this attention from getting expensive items and start becoming smart about your money, and invest in things, invest in places, invest in spaces that are actually going to grow you. So make your money work for you. So instead of investing in luxury items, invest in yourself. And to give you my own example, my dad has always had this relationship with us, me and my sister, that if you really want to make it in life, you need to, like, ever since we were young, he has genuinely from the bottom of his heart sat us down literally and told us that you need to do well in your career, you need to do well in your career. So ever since me and my sister were young, we've always been instilled with nothing but ambition, but also he has been very smart about our money. So he said that he's going to provide for us when it comes to education, when it comes to our living expenses, when we're studying, if I'm doing a degree, I'm doing a master's degree or whatever, everything that I'm everything I have is provided for, because I am studying right now, and he feels like it's his duty to provide. But then also he's very clear that if you want to make it in life, if you want to stay in London, if I want to stay in London, then I have to manage my expenses from A to Z. And if I even before when I was working, like till my college and stuff, he provided for us, and then after that I had to make sure that I was managing my own finances from A to Z. I had no I could not take any money from my dad, and obviously if I needed it and I genuinely was in a bad position, obviously he would help, but he would want us to manage yourselves and become financially independent. I've really learned to navigate my money and navigate my expenses, and this is exactly how I manage my expenses. So every single clothing that I wear, it's all from H&M. Okay, I've never I've never Zara, H&M, I've never gone more expensive than that, because it's the same quality, so you don't need to spend a lot on a very big brand if you don't have the budget for it. And initially I would say just look for basic timeless classic pieces that that you can wear for a long time, that you can sustain for a long time. And you will even see me in my videos, I wear the same tops again and again, because it's a timeless piece and I can always repeat it. So you don't really need to spend a lot on your clothing. And if you still want to elevate your outfits, elevate your clothing, make sure that the earrings that you wear, you can always elevate your accessories with like a good earring, which is like a timeless piece. And then to actually elevate your outfit, invest in accessories. Okay, accessories will always make you look rich and will also make you look more presentable, and that is by design. And another thing, when it comes to bags, there's no need to even think of getting a bag unless and until you have your finances in order. Okay, and for me personally, I have not invested a big sum of money in anything that has nothing to do with my growth. Now, second thing, there are also places where you do need to invest. There are also places where you do need to splurge a little, okay? And let's discuss exactly where you can splurge and where you should splurge, okay? First of all, it's very good and it's very fair to invest in yourself or invest in anything that has to do with upgrading yourself. Now, I'll give you a little bit of my history. This is the first expensive purchase I ever made was my MacBook, which I bought, I think now 3 years ago when I was working my first job. They actually the company bought it for me, and then I bought it back from the company when I was leaving the company. But it was like a new MacBook, so I got like a new MacBook for a cheaper deal. And then the second thing, the most expensive thing I've invested in is the camera setup that I have. My Sony ZV-E10 camera, the lighting and the tripods and everything. And then the third most expensive thing is like I'm working with a marketing agency right now, and that is the third expensive thing I've invested in. And that's it. You will never see me making frivolous purchases when I know I don't have the resources at the moment, okay? Now, there are also places I will never cheap out on, okay? And this is also something that you need to keep in mind. Never cheap out on rent. If there's one place that you should be investing some money in, there's one place where it's fine to splurge a little, is getting a good accommodation in a good area. Always look for an area which is safe, which has a good environment, which has good people, even if it's more expensive, okay? And always stay in a good accommodation that has a good bed, that has good resources, even if it's a little bit more expensive, 20%, 30%, even 40% more expensive. I personally would not cheap out on my living situation, because my living situation determines how I feel on a daily basis. And I personally would only live in a posh area, and I will always invest a lot of money in living in a posh area and then invest less in other places. But the place that I live in will always be good. Second thing that I would invest in, I would not mind spending some money, is my groceries and is my food intake. So many people, they starve themselves, or they cheap out on their food because they're going out and they're going to restaurants, they're getting their coffees every single day from outside. Instead of getting coffees and instead of going out every single day, I would say invest in groceries, invest in eating well, even buy your fruits, buy your vegetables, go to a good grocery store, make sure your nutrition is in check, and make sure you are really nourishing yourself, because that again is going to elevate your frequency, it's going to make you feel better. The third place I would not cheap out on is also looking for a co-working space, or looking for spaces where you can work from. So if you're someone who also wants to feel good on a daily basis, and you do have to spend £4 a day, or you want to go out at least 3 times a week, don't go out for an expensive dinner, that would cost you a lot more. Just look for a good cafe or a good working location where you can sit, or maybe take a subscription of WeWork or Huddle or any place, wherever you're from, take a subscription of that, and do not cheap out on that either, okay? And the fourth place I would not cheap out on would be my shoes. So always buy a good pair of shoes. Again, not the most trendy, not the most expensive, but buy a good pair which is of good quality, because you're going to be walking a lot, you're going to be extending your feet. So it's fine if you buy from H&M your clothes and stuff, but shoes I would not recommend to buy from any cheap brand. Make sure you buy your shoes from a good expensive brand. And even now, right now, my most important goal is to get myself in a good apartment where I have all amenities, and that is my goal. It is not a luxury handbag, it is definitely not a lot of vacations and a lot of trips. Yes, that will come in the vision, but my first priority will always be to make sure I'm in a good location, in a good apartment, around good people, in a safe, happy location. And honestly, that is very much achievable if you have a good career on yourself. If you're working towards even a job and you keep progressing in your job, you will do it. Or even if you're starting a business on side, just keep pursuing something. And another thing I will tell you as a woman is that yes, if you meet someone, down the line, and because you meet them and because you love them and because you have a connection with them, that is when they want to provide for you and stuff. That's fine. Obviously a man should be a provider in my opinion, and you should only, I will discuss the men part later. I don't want to mix it. So later down the line, if you meet someone, that's fine, but always make sure that you're very much capable of taking care of your own self, and at least taking care of your basic rent, your basic clothing, your basic makeup, and all of these things are in check. As long as you can do this part right, and you keep working on yourself, you keep being on this path, everything else will also come to you. My second point is to also start practicing your independence. Now, this is very, very, very crucial. As a woman, you do want to appear confident. You don't want to appear like you're capable and competent. And the only way you will learn confidence, competence, and just this ability to present yourself is when you're going to be practicing your independence. So if you can, I would say that, if you're in college, if you're in uni, if you're, working a job, I would say do move away from home for a while. I grew up in a boarding school. So I went to a boarding school when I was in class 6. And since class 6 to class 12, I was in the boarding school, and we used to have 4 months, like 2 months in summers and 2 months in winters, to go back to our family, but everything else was in the boarding school. And I think because of that and the exposure I got over there, people from obviously all around the country and some from also abroad were all there, and because of that, I got to interact with a lot of people. I learned to wake up in the morning and do my PT and all these things that they make you do in boarding school, and it just gave me a lot of exposure. And even after boarding school, I knew that I don't want to be in the same area, so I even changed my city, and I went to like my undergrad I did from like a very good city. And I also, again, I try to expand myself as much as possible. The only reason why I feel confident and I can talk to people, and obviously like every single person, you guys, we all have those same insecurities. We all feel like we're not good enough and all these things, and you do the inner work. And by the way, I also help every single person do inner work, and that's literally my channel. So if you do want to do inner work with me, you want to learn confidence, self-worth, and all these things installed in you in as little as 90 days, I also offer my coaching. So you can book a call with me in the description box below. And basically I did all this inner work. I tried to expose myself to different situations, different environments. I tried to seek out jobs that were so daunting for me, that was so uncomfortable for me, and then I actually moved countries to be here. And again, another life-changing experience, another thing that another layer that has been added in my personality, that has been added in my life. And all these things have made me very strong internally. All these things have made me competent. They've increased my confidence. I feel like I have a lot of charm on me. I know how to talk to people. I know how to navigate myself in situations, and I'm very street smart, right? And the only reason I've done so many things is because I've always valued my independence, and I would always try to practice it. So I would suggest you that do not stick to your comfort zone, do not stick to what feels safe, and do not stick to the party life. So just going out and having fun and just like clubbing and all these things will always be available to you. Like partying and chilling and all these things will always be an option for you. So instead of doing that, I would say focus more on yourself and focus more on your growth, and see in whatever situation you're in, how can you make the most of it, right? So if right now I am here and I'm doing my master's degree, I know that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to explore myself. So instead of just focusing on the clubbing bits or going out and all these things, I do it once in a while when when exams get over and I want to like have a fresher and a breather and all these things. Yes, but then I'm looking at this experience as a whole, and I'm trying to get as much exposure as possible in every single realm. So I'm trying to attend career events, I'm trying to talk to different people, and I'm trying to make this place my home. So going to a good gym, talking to people, and just making sure that I'm actually exhausting all my resources and I'm learning as much as possible, right? And this is exactly how the more you expose yourself, the more you talk to people, the more confident and the more capable you become. So my advice to you as a woman is that, first of all, a lot of people say that if you're in your 20s, no, I don't care if you're in your 20s, I don't care if you're in your 30s, I don't care if you're in your 50s. You can always learn, you can always grow. So first of all, don't say that if you're above 30, above 40, you're doomed. No one is doomed, and there's always room to grow. There's always room to become better. There's always room to become the best version of yourself. So wherever you are, try to see exactly how you can practice your independence, where all what skills you can learn right now, what classes you can take, and how you can expand yourself. Because sometimes what you guys, we all are capable of creating abundance in our life, and sometimes it is through following our passions, following the places where somehow our interests are guiding us through. So don't say that, you have to live a particular type of life, which is this kitty party life, or this, this female life, or whatever. No, you can experience yourself, you can explore yourself, and I would encourage you to explore yourself, because the more you explore yourself, the more you go on this route of discovering who you are, what your passions are, and all these things that you're interested in, the better and better and better, honestly, your reality starts to get. The next thing that you have to do is you also need to have self-respect. As a woman who wants to be smart and capable, you need to always carry yourself with respect, because the more you respect yourself, the more people respect you, and that is literally the way to gain respect. So I would say, in any situation, the people that you interact with, the job situations that you're working in, any place, always work in environments where you're respected. If you go interview for a job and you get the job, but the environment is not toxic for you, or if there are people that don't respect you, leave instantly. You will find a better job, but you cannot betray yourself, right? You cannot ever be in places or spaces that don't respect you. So have a standard for the treatment you will accept. How do you want people to speak to you? What is their tone with you? How are they asking you questions? How are they treating you? And always stick to your standards. And if that means sometimes leaving people, leaving situations that are not in your highest alignment, then that is the thing that you have to do. And another thing to gain respect is to give respect. Well, whoever you interact with, whoever you talk to, always be respectful towards them. Have a kind, courteous nature towards them. You don't have to be over friendly or any of these things, but yes, you need to be respectful. And I feel like when you do give respect, you gain respect, right? And never do anything that compromises your self-worth or that compromises yourself in the process. Okay, never do it, even if it feels like this fleeting pleasure, when you feel like, I'm willing to compromise my integrity over here, or I'm willing to just like see it. Yes, you may do it, and you'll obviously learn your lessons even if you go for it, but there's no point in it. You will train yourself and you will exhaust yourself for no reason. So have your integrity and have your self-respect in place, and no matter what happens, no matter how much you feel, no matter what it is, okay, never sacrifice your integrity and never sacrifice your self-respect. And trust me, the universe will always reward you for it. The universe will always reward you for it, no matter what happens. The next thing that you need to do is that you need to understand exactly the true power of divine feminine energy. Okay, so I would, to actually explain feminine energy in a deeper way, I would actually like to introduce to you the Hindu philosophy. And in the Hindu philosophy, there is a goddess whose name is Ma Shakti. Okay, and Ma stands for mother, okay, or goddess, and Shakti stands for power. And Ma Shakti is basically a symbolic meaning of divine feminine energy. And divine feminine energy, she has everything to do with creation, power, protection, and transformation. It is not just this one soft feminine thing. Divine feminine energy and true divine feminine energy is embodying 9 literal traits. Okay, and I would like to read some to you, but of course I'm going to put them on the screen so you know exactly how powerful and how beautiful feminine energy is. And no, you don't have to dumb yourself down for anyone. You don't have to make yourself small for anyone. You don't have to always look hot, always look like presentable for you to be worthy. You can work on yourself fully. You can embody all these traits, and the more you embody it, the more you're a full expression of yourself and not just this silver thing that people want you to be. The more powerful you will feel within yourself, the more the sense of self will start to return. Okay, and the more we are in our senses, the more we are in ourselves, the more ideas we can get. Okay, and we can always create abundance for ourselves. So why are we trying to thin ourselves down or trying to present a version of ourselves that people like, and then why are we dumbing ourselves down? We don't have to do none of it, right? So let me just read some traits of actual divine feminine energy and how it's not just this one thing, but it's actually a plethora of things. Number 1, it is strength and grounding. Number 2, it is devotion and discipline. Number 3, it is courage and bravery. Number 4, it is creation and positivity. It is motherhood and protection. It is power and determination. It is destroyer of fear and darkness. It is peace and purity. It is wisdom and fulfillment. So you see how it's not just peace and protection. It's not just mother and nurture. No, it is powerful, it's transformative. It has all elements of fire, earth, air. okay, and it's a full embodiment of these things. So as a woman, if you're watching, I would say explore yourself in all ways. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, wake up in the morning and say to yourself that I am amazing, I am powerful, I am a queen, I'm everything I want to be. I can achieve anything I want, okay, and I can do all of this, and I can still attract good and beautiful and amazing relationships. My power and every single thing that I want to be is not a bad thing, it is a good thing, and I want to own every single aspect of myself, right? And also I want to speak to both categories of women over here. First of all, I want to speak to the baddies, the ones that they are like a little, like a baddie. So to the baddie, I will say, or you're someone, if you identify with someone who's like, you don't take shit from no one, and you're that person who is guarded, and you have your things in order, and you feel like you need to be rude to people so that they respect you, or you need to pose and all these things. I will say it's fine, be that baddie, or have that guard up, but also it is okay to embrace your soft side. It is okay to let the guard down. It is okay to be nice to people. It is okay to embrace your feminine energy, embrace the sweetness in you, embrace the softness in you, and there's nothing wrong with it, trust me. So to the baddie, I will say, let your guard down a little, be okay. I know that you're a little scared that people might take you for a ride, or you have to be mean, or all these things, men love bitches or whatever. I know you have these concepts, but it's okay. Try it for a day. Try to be a sweet person. Try to nurture yourself first. Try to nurture your energy first. Try to have some love around you, not the fake love, not the love that you get when you're a bitch, but like genuine connections. Connect with your mother, connect with your friends, and try to get that softness in you, okay? And trust me, the more you can embody the softness, the more you will balance yourself out, and you will attract some good people in your life. And then I also want to speak to the soft girl, the nice girl, the one who is sweet and all these things. It's also okay for you to be an inconvenience, to put your needs forward, to say what you mean, to have standards for yourself. It is okay for you to demand things from people. It is okay for you to stand up for yourself. It is okay for you to speak up for yourself, and there's nothing wrong with it. So whether you're a baddie or whether you're a nice girl, it is okay to embrace the opposite side, and I would encourage you to embrace the opposite side. The more you do it, the more balanced you will get in your energy. The next thing to elevate your dressing and to elevate your look is to start dressing up as your Venus sign. Look, this, I know, astrology, spirituality, right? This is a channel. So basically, when you dress up as per your Venus sign, you're dressing up as per your actual aesthetic. And this is very true. I don't know how it works or why it works, but your Venus sign is literally the way you're meant to dress, right? So my Venus sign is in Libra, and Libra has everything to do with floral prints or classy things or elegant things or like timeless pieces and stuff. And honestly, whenever I dress in stuff like this, and that's my natural style as well, I feel like really good, and I look very put together. Like some people, their Venus sign is more on the edgy side, wearing more bold stuff like a bold blazer, and whenever they wear stuff like that, that looks very nice. So go to astrochart.com and figure out what your Venus sign is. Go to ChatGPT, ask how to dress, and start dressing up like that, and trust me, you will start to embrace all of those parts of yourself as well. Next thing, it's okay to embrace the sensual side in you. I know it's a little out there, but we're all girls, so it's fine. So the way it's fine, you don't have to be stiff in your energy, you don't have to be stern in your energy. Women, we are beautiful, we are gorgeous people, and we have energy in us. We have some sensuality in us, and we know how to move, we know how to do our thing. But I feel like a lot of women, we don't explore ourselves like that, or we feel like when we explore ourselves like that, it's always more on the side of hooking up. But I would say, even avoid the hooking up part, but get in your energy and get sensual in yourself, moving yourself and talking talking in a sensual way, or even if you're going to clubs, truly feeling yourself, feeling your energy, dancing. And honestly, the more you dance, the more you move your hips, the more you move your body, the more you are embracing yourself, the more sexy you will start to feel. Okay, a big part about feminine energy is to also feel magnetic and sexy in your body, okay? And something that you can do to embody that is, number one, yes, start dancing. And actually, if you really want to embody it, then salsa is a very, very good dance, or you can take salsa classes, because that gets your body moving, that gets you grooving, and gets that feminine energy, that sexual energy in you flowing. Second thing that you can do is also like you can start wearing like lace underwear and lace like bras and stuff, or incorporating some nets and stuff, because when you wear like sexy clothing inside, it makes you feel sexy, it makes you feel more awake in your feminine energy. Okay, so I'm saying it's okay to, you know, flirt with people, and you don't have to like make like a connection with them, but yeah, like get in the habit of talking to people, flirting with them, moving yourself, moving your body, and having that fun element to you. Okay, the more you do it, the better you feel about yourself, the more your energy is moving, and the more you know, you feel SEXY in your own body. Next thing you can do is you can also like, you know, have some self-care days where you just like having creams and stuff and putting like, you know, having like a nighttime routine, or having things or doing things which are just putting all that beautiful sensual energy back in you. Because I've literally met women, you know, that have that sensual energy in them. It's not vulgar, it's not like, oh my god, like what is this? It's always very like attractive, it's magnetic. Women who can move, who can like, you know, talk in charm, who have that cute tone to them, or have that sexy like voice to them. It's always so hot, it's so magnetic, and I love to see it. Okay, so you can also do it. The next thing is, in terms of clothing, I would say show just enough. Okay, like this is something that works for me, and obviously like if you do resonate with, you know, showing a lot, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do over there, but honestly, showing just enough is the perfect balance. Like if you're wearing like a top, right, so you don't have to show everything, but like just elevate some parts of yourself, so it's not too out there, but it's just enough to like make you look sexy, right? So if you're wearing like a skirt, then I would say wear like blazer on top, or if you're wearing like, you know, a full top, then you can wear like a skirt. So it's not about showing everything or showing, you know, all parts of yourself. It's about elevating your already given looks. And like I like to wear like really fitted tops because I feel good in that, and then I'll wear like pants which are more broad, so that really suits me and really suits my body structure. So figure out what your body structure is, figure out what your sense of fashion is, and try to show just enough, not a lot. And maybe if you want to show less, that's fine, but not a lot out there and trying to, you know, get that validation. Just enough for you to feel good and happy and sexy in yourself. Also, you know, if you do want to show your skin and you want to show yourself off, I would always think in terms of what energy you have behind it. If the energy is that, you know, you feel good in your outfit, you want to look good, you feel magnetic, you feel sexy, you feel hot and all these things, and that's why, you know, you want to show yourself off, I think that's a good energy to be in, and you're doing it for yourself. I think, you know, you should do it. But at the same time, if the energy is to attract attention or to get validation, or, you know, to like look good in front of other people, and it's coming from an outside source, that is when I would reconsider anything. Okay, I would genuinely not do it, and I would genuinely stick to who I am and my values, and, you know, how I want to look. And I think that always pays off in the long run. Now, next thing, and that is that you also need to have discernment. Discernment, you guys, especially in women, is very important. And to just like help you with this section, I'm going to share some facts about men and how they think, so that, you know, you don't get played. And I'm not saying this to, you know, sort of say anything bad about men. I think everyone has their own tricks up the sleeves, right? But we need to know about what these people do, so that we don't, you know, we don't lose ourselves in these things. We're very smart about these things. The first thing that you need to be aware of in terms of men is that men are very smart. Okay, they sort of see you, they see what your personality is like, they see what your traits are, you know, what your interests are, if you're into spirituality, if you're into business, if you're into career stuff. And according to who you are, to impress you, or to, you know, just like, you know, get you to like them, they do present a persona which is exactly what you prefer them to be. Okay, and I think it's not malicious, it's not something that they're trying to do, it is just this natural thing that they have. And I'll give you an example. So we actually were on a in my uni, we have this club which is the run club. I went there like 2-3 times, and the first time or the second time I went there, we were all just talking, and the guy who was organizing the club, who was organizing the whole thing, he was talking to everyone, and we were having like a fun time, and we were like all laughing and all these things. So obviously him and I also spoke, and with everyone else, he's like, you know, he has this joking nature, and he's like a jester basically, and he like the funny guy, and, you know, he's joking around. And I was like, even I'm like joke around with him, and it'll be like a fun banter thing. And I was like, okay, so like what tips do you have for me, like, you know, I'm new here, so what do you think I should do? And out of nowhere, he just goes silent, and he's like, you know, find the right circle, you should find the right friend circle, I think that is the thing that you should do. And the thing is that this guy there's nothing about him that speaks to him having this kind of a personality where he's giving advice and stuff. He is a full-on jester. But with me, he's like trying to put on a persona, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And at the same time, this other person I know, and this person again is like a party person, and he likes to party and like go on and stuff. He's like a finance pro, whatever. And then just to like, again, they put on a persona, and he's talking more in terms of, but you know what, I stay in a lot, I study a lot, and I have these things, and I got a six-figure bonus and all these things. So this is a thing that they do, right? And sometimes when you're not that aware and you cannot sense BS that fast, it is likely that you will see all the things that they're telling you, because they'll be exactly what your preferences are, or how you live your life, and you will feel like, oh my god, this person is a perfect match. The only thing I would suggest over here is that take your time to get to know someone, okay? Like, do not make judgments very fast. If they know that you're someone who is studying and you're doing a master's, chances are they will talk about their own education, okay? If you're someone who is into spirituality, chances are suddenly they'll be very interested in spirituality, and they will tell you all things about spirituality. So I would say be very aware, okay, and just know that, yeah, maybe all these things that they're saying can be true. They can very well be into spirituality, but I would just say that that is not the whole picture, and they will not present to you the whole picture unless until you really get to know them. And the whole picture usually comes later down the line. There'll be a lot of things that you will not know initially, okay, and that is by design. Like us women, we talk, but men, they like to like be strategic about things. So my advice to you is have discernment and have a good BS meter. If someone is genuinely like, you feel like this person is definitely putting on a persona, and they're truly like, everything they're saying is not authentic, then that time, like, distance yourself. But sometimes they're not putting on a persona, they're simply showing you the things that they know would get you to like them or notice them, and then later on they reveal their other things. So in that case also, I would say just be aware, okay? Second thing that you need to be aware of to be a smart woman with men is also that if you're someone who's an attractive female, who you look good, you present well, and all these things, certain men will talk to you because you're attractive. They will like your energy, especially if you have good energy around you, and you're like someone who's easy to talk to. Just because they're talking to you, just because you've had conversations, or you've known them and all these things, it still doesn't mean that they have romantic interest in you, okay? And that is something that you need to understand. Sometimes we think that we're talking and we're vibing and all these things, and he must like me and all these things. That is not always the case. Sometimes they just like the energy, they just like the vibe, they just like the feelings of it, and that's why they're engaging in it. So just because someone is giving you time, presence, energy, and they're talking to you doesn't mean nothing, okay? That does not translate to romantic feelings automatically. They're simply talking to you because you're attractive or whatever, like you have some traits in you, and it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good because they're talking to an attractive female, and it boosts their ego or whatever, but it still doesn't mean romantic interest. I will discuss exactly what romantic interest is and how you will know. So I wouldn't get too attached just because someone is vibing with me, just because someone is talking to me, okay? The third thing that you need to be aware of with men is that they are very logical, okay? Like, a guy will see a girl and they will know exactly what kind of a relationship they want with her, after some time of knowing her. So if you are someone who's in a situationship, he has made his mind about you. I'm gonna break it to you. If you're in a situationship and he has made his mind about you, if he's not committing to you, he does not plan to commit. Okay, he is not planning to commit. He wants easy access. He wants access to a female, and he wants that feminine energy, and he has chosen you for it. But he does not want you enough to commit. Okay, if he wanted to commit, things would be different right now. Men will know exactly when they want to commit, when they don't want to commit, exactly who they want to commit to, exactly who they don't want to commit to, and they're very clear on their goals. Like, how women, we meet, and then we talk, and then we have conversations, and eventually we fall for them. And earlier we didn't think of these things, and then eventually it happens for us down the line. So we think that even they think like that, but they're very logical. They know from the get-go what they want, and once they've made up their mind, it's very difficult to change. And also there are also some men, they will even date the woman, they will like be with her, they will be in a relationship with her and everything, but they just still don't love her that much. Like, it is that some men don't have options, and they just pick like an easy option, or someone they can get, and they stay with her, and once they meet like a better option, they leave, right? So if you feel like even in a relationship you don't feel loved, you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, and you feel like, I'm just in this relationship for nothing, and I don't feel it, chances are that he genuinely doesn't like you. And I would recommend that you do the right thing for yourself. You leave him and you find someone who actually knows you, likes you, and wants you, and not someone you will just because it's convenient for him. Okay, and understand that once a guy has made up his mind about you, he probably is not going to change. So you need to have discernment over there as well. And the next thing that you need to know about men is that you cannot make them figure themselves out. Okay, so say for example, there's some situation and he is having some adjustments. Maybe his life is not together, and because of that he can't commit to you. So if you think that you can sit with him and explain to him why it's a good decision, or you can be there for him, be his whatever, like be with him and provide, or be that kind nurturing person, and that will make him change. No, with men it's very different. With men, they need to take out time and they need to figure themselves out on their own. Like there is no other way you can make a man change. A girl, again, you can give her the love and nurturing and she will still like change her mind. But a man, no, he will have to take out his own time. He will have to think of things on his own terms, and you have to let them do it. You have to like let them be, right? The more you tell them that this is the reason why you should choose me, this is that, this is whatever, it does nothing to them. So with men, honestly, if something is wrong or there's some obstacle, there's some blockage, honestly, just let them figure themselves out. There's nothing that you can do. Honestly, if it's not coming to you in a straightforward way, if it's not being presented to you in a straightforward way that you are who I want, and this is the offer that I have, and I want to teach you, I want to see you, I want to be with you. If it's not that straightforward and there's some blockage or anything, you cannot do nothing. So let them be, let them figure themselves out. If it's meant to be, it will be. Okay, there's no effort that you can make to change a man's mind. Okay. Also, if you're curious to understand exactly when someone is genuinely romantically interested in you and when someone is just like vibing with you, or just flirting with you, and it's just that, is that when a man, when like a guy really likes you, he will always make effort. Like you will see it in the way he makes effort for you. Like it's very, very evident. Okay, you cannot miss it. Like if he has to help you, then he will go out of his way above and beyond to help you. He will make, like, he will literally, like, if he has to help you this much, he will help you this much. And that is only because he likes you. Okay, that is one sign that you can always rely on. Second thing is that he will genuinely want to see you. He will genuinely want you to take time to like talk to you. And if you like talking, he would ask you like genuine honest questions, things that are deeper than like what are you doing and all these things. They're a little deeper, the questions are deeper. He is more attentive to you. He's more like he's trying to listen to you more, and he's genuinely present in the conversation. That is another way you can know he's genuinely likes you, not just like vibing with you. Third of all, he will look for ways to talk to you, or he will look for ways to like meet you and all these things, because he sees a genuine interest in you. Okay, and you will feel it in his presence, the way he treats you, the way he talks to you. When he actually likes you, it will feel more interesting, right? When he's just like interested and he's vibing with you, it will feel more bantery, it will feel more flirty. But when he's genuinely interested, you will feel that seriousness from him, and you will see some genuine questions come your way, not just surface level questions like, what are you up to and all these things. Like there'll be some genuine deeper questions, because he genuinely is trying to get to know you, and also he will genuinely try to help you. A man is masculine when he likes a feminine. A man does, he goes above and beyond to help her, right? He goes above and beyond to help her, because that's a masculine nature in men. Now the question is, what kind of guys do I look for and what kind of guys do I avoid? So my advice to you here is that I personally have never been attracted to the rapper boys, or the boys that don't have their life together, the banter ones, or the funny ones. And I feel like if you're someone who wants a stability in your life, you want a masculine presence, I highly suggest you guys to actually look for a masculine man. Okay, someone who is in his masculine energy. And when I say masculine energy, I mean someone who has a provider mindset, someone who wants to take care of the woman, who wants to be there for the woman, who has a stance in his reality, who knows what to do, who's a capable man, someone who can create success himself. Because if you're with someone who just is like not in his masculine frame, chances are that in times of conflict, it's like no one knows what to do. Because sometimes a girl actually, she wants the man to take care of her, she wants the man to lead her in ways, when things are difficult. The man needs to be that stable presence. Okay, and other factors that I would look for personally is someone who's a classy guy, someone who has manners. I can't do it mannerless. Like I cannot do it. So someone who has manners, someone who's a classy guy, someone who's gonna let you be yourself. Not gonna try to control you, not gonna try to micromanage you or dominate you in anything, like do anything which is like not in your highest alignment. Someone who supports you, someone who supports your goals, someone who supports your ambitions, and he genuinely is there to like help you become better, help you expand. Like is he's giving you, he's providing for you, like in emotional capacities and financial capacities and every single capacity. And you feel that care from him. You feel that, you know what, this guy, like, yeah, he genuinely wants me, likes me. He's a safe masculine presence where I also feel like I can fully be myself and I can be more expansive. Okay, that is the person that you want to be with, right? And of course, on top of this, if you have some preferences and personality and all of these things can be changed. All of these things are like, you know, yeah, we can like discuss these things, but I would say don't compromise on the innate nature of him, right? The innate nature in a man needs to be masculine, and when he's with the feminine, he needs to have that thing. I want to take care of her, I want to be there for her, and I want to help her in every way possible. That is very, very important. Okay, the next thing that you have to do is that you also need to look at the music that you're listening to. Is it empowering music? Is it music that like empowers you, it makes you more of yourself, or is it demonic music straight up? Okay, because the music that, you know, these people are making these days, it's not good, right? It's by design. And actually, you know what, I took some of the best, the most famous Instagram music, and I'm gonna read you some lyrics and you will understand exactly how bad it is. So the song is escapism, and the lyrics are: just a heartbroken bee, high heel 6 inch, in the back of the nightclub sipping champagne. I don't trust any of these bees I'm with, in the back of the taxi sniffing cocaine, drunk calls, drunk text, drunk tears, drunk sex. Like it's not good. Like all this music is demonic. Okay, when you are broken up, when something is happening, when, you know, you're clubbing, you're basically playing all these lyrics. Okay, and these lyrics have things like, you know, being frivolous with your body, you know, just going out and hooking up and doing drugs. And this is the kind of things that are this it's in these songs. And I'm gonna put some lyrics here, and all these lyrics are from blockbuster music, which is going around these days. So I would also be very careful with what I'm putting in my body, what I'm listening to. Yes, you know, honestly, even I used to listen to, like, I love music, and I love house music. I love raps. I mean, not raps, like I like R&B and stuff, but I still have to be careful to not like listen to these things so much, because eventually these are just affirmations, and the easiest way to control women is, you know, via music and via affirmations and all these things. And this type of music is basically promoting hedonism. Okay, that is the purpose of this music. And when women are hedonistic, the first thing that we lose is our intuition. Okay, it is our sense of self, it is our moral compass, it is basically that inner force which guides us. So the more hedonistic we become, the more, you know, we are engaging in these things, the less of our inner self and the less of our intuition becomes. So I will be very careful. Second of all, I want to talk about the Kardashians. The Kardashians are famous by design. You know, the culture that they're promoting is, yes, like, you know, even I follow Kylie Jenner, it's fine, like it's fun to watch, and I watch the Kardashians, it's a fun show and whatever, but don't adopt their ideologies, don't live like them, don't make them your icons, don't make them your role models. You have to be very careful with who you know, identifying with and who your role model is. If your role model is Hailey Bieber, Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, then, you know, it's not going to be looking nice, because you're going to be buying all these products that you don't really need, and, you know, you're going to be dressing up, and like it's fine to dress up, but, like, you know, the things that they're promoting and the way they're doing it, it's not healthy. Okay, and it's taking us away from ourselves, it's taking us away from our intuition. And for a woman, your intuition is your biggest asset. Okay, because your intuition will help you discern things, it will help you identify what situations you want to be in, what situations you don't want to be in, and it will give you everything that you need, right? So if you betray yourself and, you know, you're making these people your icons, you will end up losing. Okay, so yeah, I think I've discussed a lot, and this is all that I had to discuss. If you have any more questions for me, you can put them in the comment section below. And also, to become the woman of your dreams, you also need to work on your confidence, your self-worth, you know, everything that has to do with becoming the best version of yourself. And that is identity deep level work. And I'm someone who has specialized in identity deep level work. I've done it myself, and I've transformed completely, and that's exactly what I also help you do. So you can check the link in my description, book a free call with me today, and I will help you shift your identity in just a span of 90 days. Okay, so if you're interested, check the link in the description. If you like this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, and, you know, subscribe to the channel and watch more videos from me. And this is AJ guys for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.